Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to end my chain of baby items for my baby month in January and actually pick up for Valentine's Day. So we will start with the actual baby, it's called Lovey Hat for baby crocheted hat. And it's this adorable baby hat, and it actually has hearts for the ear flaps. So this pattern is through Redheart, and it will call for, or let me give you the pattern numbers, LW2986. The hat measures 16 inches, and it calls for candy pink in the yarn, and it also calls for a white of some kind, and you will need an H or 5mm hook. So get your yarn colors that you would want to use. I am actually going to do white and purple, so it's up to you. And this is a very simple hat to make. So this is our end of our baby projects for January. Not that I won't ever do anymore, but I was on a roll with the baby projects. So, and this is my first project for Valentine's Day. So go ahead and get all of your items together, and I will meet you back up and we will start this project. Alright guys, so the first thing we want to do is we're going to start working on the hat part, the crown part of the hat. So with whatever color you chose to start with, which is going to be my white, you're just going to simply start with a chain 4. Alright, and then we're going to slip stitch into the beginning chain. And then what you want to do for round 1 is we're going to simply do 6 single crochet into the circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and you pull your tail and close that circle up a bit. And then what you're going to be doing here, and you're going to be working in continuous rounds, so you're just going to grab yourself also a stitch marker. And what that means is you're not going to be doing any joining. You're just going to keep going around and around, so you're not going to have the seam that's going to be going through. So now for round 2, you're going to work 2 stitches in every stitch around. So go ahead and put your first single crochet here in that first stitch. Then you're going to take your stitch marker, and you're just going to, you can go in the front or back of that stitch. I kind of put it in the back to keep it out of my way. So you're going to mark that stitch. That's your first one in that first stitch. Now go ahead and put your second one there. So that's 2. So go ahead and put 2 in the next. 3, 4. Now keep going, putting 2 in each stitch. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Alright, so if you have your stitch counts done correctly, the first stitch should be right in front of you with that stitch marker there, okay? So you should be right there with that stitch marker. Now round 3, you're going to do 2 single crochet into that stitch that has your stitch marker, so that's going to be your increase. So 1. Now take that stitch marker out. Okay, you take it out, then you're going to replace it in that stitch you just did. Okay, oops, yep, it's in the right one. Now go ahead and put the other stitch in there. So there's 2. So 2 in that first stitch, and then 1 in the next. And that's going to be our pattern for this round. So 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2, and then 1, then 2, and then 1. Alright, so you should be up to your marker. Now go ahead, just for safety precautions, to make sure you have enough stitches. You should have 18. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's where you want to be, counting the stitch there that has that marker in it. So round 4, so go ahead and take your marker out. So round 4, you want to do 2 in the next. So there's the first one, and again, take that marker and put it into that stitch. And go ahead and put your second stitch in there. And then, so you have 2 in that stitch. Now you're going to put 1 in each of the next 2. So 1 in that one, 1 in the next. The next stitch gets 2. That's our increased stitch. And then you're going to do 1 in each of the next 2. So 1 in that one, 1 in this one. Then you're going to increase, so 2 in this one. And then you'll just repeat that. So 1 in the next, 1 in the next, then 2, then 1 and 1, 2, then 1 and 1. Last set, there's 2, then 1 and 1. Okay, so that is at the end of round 4. You should have 24 stitches there. So go ahead and count those, and I'll join you back for round 5. Alright, round 5, I took my stitch marker out. So we're going to do like we've been doing. So there's 2 that's supposed to go in this stitch. So let's just do our 1. Turn it over and put that marker in the back. And now place our other stitch in that same stitch. Okay, and now you're going to do a single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Alright. And now the next one is going to be your increase, so do 2 stitches in that stitch. And now you're going to go back and do 1 in each of the next 3. Okay? And now the next one is your increase, so put 2 here. And then you just repeat. 1 in the next 3. And then 2 in this one, 1 in the next 3, then 2 in the same stitch, 1 in the next 3, and then our last set, so you're going to do 2 here and 1 in the last 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And that's going to bring you back up to your marker. So go ahead and remove that. Now round 6 is just going to be a simple single crochet round. So go ahead and single crochet in the next stitch. Place your marker back into your stitch, and then you're just going to simply do a single crochet in each stitch around. No increasing on this round at all. And this type of pattern does not leave the seam that you always hate to see. So when you're working in continuous rounds like this, that is how you always get the seamless look. So just keep that in mind. If you don't want the seam, then you have to work in a continual round. But to work in a continual round, you must use some form of markers. And make sure that they don't come out, because if they do in the middle of your project, that becomes a problem. And you lose your spot, and most of the time you end up frogging the project, or I do, because I'm so anal about having an error in my project. I'll usually rip it out. Alright, so that's row 6. Now row 7 is going to be nothing no different. So let's take that marker out, and you're going to do 2 in this next stitch. So let's do our first one here. Put the marker back in and do another single crochet in that same stitch, and then you're going to do a single crochet in the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then the next stitch is your increase, so put 2 there, and then 1 in each of the next 4 again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Increase here, and 1 in each of the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Increase, 1 in each of the next 4. And increase. And I don't know what it is about hats, but they are just so much fun to make. Increase in the next 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Increase, and 1 into the last 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Remove that stitch marker, and I will be back with you for round 8. So this is round 7. You should have 36 single crochet. Go ahead and count those and make double sure, and I'll be back with you for round 8. Alright, so round 8, of course we're going to do 1 stitch here in this next stitch to start with. Put our slip stitch or our stitch marker back in, and put the same another stitch in the same stitch, and then we're going to do 5 single crochet, 1 in each of the next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1 single crochet in each of the next 5. And then now this one's an increase, so 2 here, and then 1 in each of the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Increase, and then 5 singles, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase, 5 singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, increase, 5 singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Last set, so increase here, and 5 singles, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now let's remove our stitch marker. Number 9 is no different. So we're going to do, in the next stitch, we're going to put 2, but let's do our first one and put our stitch marker back in and add our second stitch to that. And now you're going to do 1 in each of the next 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this process of increasing and working in rounds like this, not necessarily working in rounds, but the increasing process is going to be the same when you're making something in a circle like hats and things like that, but the increase process is going to be the same. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to make a pattern or something like that. This is the same process. You'll work the increase in the same way. So just a little hint there. So increase in this stitch, and then 6 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And increase. And our last set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so that is now round 9, and you can remove your marker. Now round 10, what you're going to do is you're going to do a chain 2 here, and then you're just going to do a double crochet stitch around, and that's going to maintain your 48 stitches. Okay, so you're going to do one more round of increasing after this, I believe. So what you're going to do is you're going to do, and you don't have to put your marker back in at this point if you don't want, because you can tell where you started doing this row, because of course you're going from a single crochet to a double crochet. So what you're going to do is do a double crochet in your next stitch, and then you're just going to work a double crochet all the way around. Make sure you're maintaining 48 stitches here at this point. So you'll go all the way around here, and then I will meet you back up and we will join up, and then round 11 is where we will do one more row of increase. And this right here, we just did the crown part, and a lot of people don't know that whenever you're working a beanie, the increase in part here is the part that only needs to fit the crown of a head. This is not the entire size of a head. This is just the part that goes on the crown, and there's a particular way to measure that. And you put this on the crown of the head of the person that you're making it for, and then you put your hands like this, and you want to make sure the tips of the ears touch when you're doing this. And then if it does, then you know you've got the proper size of hat, because then when you start working your sides down, then that's going to be the proper size hat to fit that person. Okay, so go ahead and work your double crochets around, and I'll meet you back up for round 11. Alright, so now I have 48 double crochet all the way around. I have joined up to the top of the chain 2, and now we are doing round 11. So what they want you to do is do 2 single crochet into the next stitch, so that is right here. If you put your hook right there into that next stitch, you will see right beside there. So you will put 2 single crochet there and single crochet into the next 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, and you're just going to repeat that around. So then you're going to do an increase, so you're going to put 2 singles here in the next one, and then 7 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Increase in the next, and then 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Increase, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Increase, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, so what you should have now is a total of 54 stitches around. Let me back up a bit there. So you should have 54 stitches, and now what it wants you to do is to repeat round 10, which means basically you're just going to chain 2 here, and you're going to double crochet around. Don't pay any attention to the 48 stitches. Now we know we're not doing any decreasing. We're just going to do the double crochet part. So when you get to the end of that round, you're still going to maintain your 54 stitches, okay? So you're just going to go into that first one and make sure you count these double crochet once you get around. Make sure you have 54. So you're just going to go around, and you're going to double crochet around, okay? And I will meet you back up at the end of round 12. Alright guys, I am back, and let me make a correction. Back on one of these rows, I think I did join up one row. That was a mistake on my part. We are not joining rows, so if you did join that row, it'll probably be okay for now. Don't join. That was my mistake. I'm so used to that. So now for rounds 13 and 14, we're repeating round 6, which is nothing more than a single crochet in each stitch. So right here where you have your chain 2, you're just going to go into that top part, that stitch, and do a single crochet. and then you're going to single crochet around. Now you may want to put that stitch marker in there. Single crochets are kind of harder to see. So you're going to repeat 13 and 14, which is rounds 13 and 14, and you're going to just do a single crochet round for round 13 and 14, and then round 15 you're just going to go back to round 10, which is a double crochet round. So do 2 rows of single crochet, and then you're going to join that and chain 2, and then round 15 you're just going to double crochet again, and I'll meet you up for round 16. Okay, so I will see you at round 15. Alright guys, we have finished round 15, so now round 16 and round 17 are simple, and this is the end of making the crown of the hat itself. You're going to go up into that top of that chain 2, and you are going to do a single crochet in there, and then you're going to do a single crochet in each stitch around. So for these last 2 rows, all you're going to do is a single crochet in each stitch. And go ahead and put your stitch marker there if you like. But the last 2 rows are single crochet rows, and that will then take us to making the heart ear flaps of the hat. Okay, so we'll just go all the way around 2 times. Remember, do not join, just keep on going around your stitch marker. You don't even have to really move it that last time if you don't want, just go right up to it the second time. And just slip stitch, fasten off your yarn after this second round. Not this round, but complete this round and go 1 more round, and then that will be it for the hat part. And then get your next color ready, weave in your ends, snip those off, and I will meet you back up and we will work those hearts up, and we will get those sewn on for the ear flaps. And as soon as I'm complete with my 2 rows, I'll meet you back up for that. Alright guys, I finished up, woven my ends, turned my hat inside out, and I went ahead and done 1 heart ear flap so you could see what it's like, and I also assembled it on. So this is what we're going to do now, so I'm going to put that aside, and what you're going to do is get whatever yarn you're working with here to make your heart ear flaps. And what we're going to do is, of course, you're going to make 2, and you're going to start off by chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you want to join up with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. And now what you're going to do is chain up 3, and you will put 12 double crochet into the center ring. So you will have a total of 13 double crochet all together. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, no joining up here. So now what you want to do for round 2 is you're going to slip stitch in each stitch. Okay, so up here at the top of this chain 3, you're going to do a single crochet up at that top. So let me see if I can get you in here a little bit. So at that top of that chain 3, you're just going to do a single crochet, and you don't have to do them tightly, and then you're just going to go around. So you're just going to go in the tops of all of these double crochet. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that 13 because you had that chain 2, or I'm sorry, 3. So I'm going to back up a bit. Now what you're going to do is you're going to turn your piece, chain 3, and you're going to do a double crochet right into that same chain 3. And this is round 3, by the way, now. And now you're going to do 2 double crochet into the next stitch. You're going to do a half double crochet into the next. You're going to do a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1, 2, and then you're going to do 3 singles into this next stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. And now you're going to do a single into the next 2 again. So 1 and 2, a half double in the next, 2 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, so a total of 6 double crochet. Okay, so 2 doubles in the next, 1, 2, 2 in the next, and 2 in the next. Okay, now you're going to turn and you're actually going to see somewhat of a heart. Now what you're going to do at this point, you're going to chain 1, and this is round 4. You're going to skip the first stitch, which is right here, and you're going to do 2 single crochet in each of the next 4. So basically you're going to be doing 8 single crochet. So 2 in this one, so 1, 2, 2 in the next, 2 in the next, and 2 in the next. Then you're going to do 5 single crochet in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to do 3 in the next. So 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to do 5 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to do 2 in each of the next 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And there's your heart. Now the last thing that is to be done is you're going to do 6 slip stitches right across the top. So you're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Simple. That's it for your heart. So you want to leave enough tail to stitch, so cut that off there. Flip it over and cut that tail off here. And pull this through. And that's your heart. Okay? So then now what you're going to do is all I did for my hat is I folded it in half like this, and then I just placed the center of my heart like this. So if I fold it directly in half again, then what I did is took my heart and just kind of folded it over the edge like that, and it just put it right down the center for me. And then you just open it back up and you sew it. And that's pretty much all that I did for that. Again, we'll make double sure I got mine centered. So my heart is centered right down the middle here. So is my hat. You see what I'm talking about? Then you take your heart. You'll have to straighten your heart out a bit because it gets a little callywampus. And then you place your heart. Well, you want to make sure you put your needle, have your needle threaded because you're going to sew that on. So then just take the wrong side here because you're going to put it right against there, and take the center of it and make sure the center is on the folded area there. And if you see right here, I went up to the top of this double crochet row, just about right there with the top of that heart. I'll zoom in and let you see that a bit before I do it. If you see what I mean, I put the angle or the curve of the heart almost up with that double crochet row there. So I'm going to make sure and do the same thing here. So if I put mine right there, right about there, and if I can go ahead and stitch this very corner, put my needle in it, and pull it through there, and I should have myself a good marking place, and then I can open it up, and I can go ahead and start sewing that on. Okay? So again, you're just going to go in and out of all your little loops. And let me show you. You're just going to go right into these loops right here on the side first. Turn it this way. I can do it better this way. And then what you're going to do after you do about 3 stitches here, you're actually going to work across here, because like I did right here, you gotta make sure that this is not flapping. So you want to go across here, and then you're going to come back and meet here. So once you get these stitched right here, you want to go back. You're going to start working right across here. So you want to go right through here. You see where I'm putting my needle? Okay, and then come back up through the center, and as long as your yarn is the same, you're not going to notice these stitches. Okay, so then you're going to go back under. Okay, just make sure you get them in there real good, because you don't want this flapping. You don't want to go way down here, you want to kind of stay up here in these loops. And just do this, you know, a couple times until it's all the way across. Making sure that you're even with your other side. Okay. Then you want to come back up the end here. And once you do that, you want to make sure that you start down here at the bottom. You could turn it around, and then you'll start coming back up the side here. And then what you'll do is you'll just go around and meet back up where you started. Make sure you get right underneath those single crochet loops. You don't want to be all over the place with your stitches, because then it will show. Make sure that your last stitch ends up underneath. And I still got to get over here at the corner. Okay, I think this is my last one. So then whenever you're done with that, as I always show you to do, you just want to go under some loops, catch your loop here, and then just tie off. And then if you feel safe to do it one more time, which I always do, I do it at least twice. Alright, and then you lose your yarn. So go under a few loops here, a few loops there, and then just pull it through. Okay, back up a little for you. And then you have your ear flaps. Now what we have to do is the very last thing is your border and your tie flaps, or your tie flap ties. I'm sorry, I think I have the backwards thing going on today. So with yarn of your choice, which I'm going to do purple, you're going to join at the back. So whichever part's your back, you're going to join in the center. So just pick your stitch and join with a single crochet. And you're just going to single crochet in the next in the next 5 stitches. Sorry about that. One, or in the next few stitches, depending on how you assembled your ear flaps. I didn't necessarily count my stitches, so just single crochet over to your ear flaps basically. Okay, and then what they want you to do is slip stitch in the front loops around the ear flaps, in the front loops only. Actually, let's go the other way. Alright guys, so now what I'm doing is I joined my purple in the back in the center here, and what I'm doing now is just a simple border, simple crochet, single crochet here, and then once you get to the heart ear flaps, you're just going to do a slip stitch in the front loops only of the hearts. Okay, so that's where I'm up to now. You're just going to go in the front loop only and do a slip stitch in the front loops only. Okay, so once you get to that part, you're just going to go in the front loop and do a slip stitch. Okay, and that's only on the heart ear flaps that we're going to be doing the slip stitch on the front loops. And then once you get back here to the border, you're going to start picking back up in your single crochet. Okay, I just wanted you to get a good view of that. And now I'm going to back up, and we're just going to pick back up in single crochet here now on the back or the front, whichever side it's going to be. Alright, so I'm just going to keep doing my single crochet. last one there. And then you come to your next heart and you go into those front loops and just slip stitch in each one. That's what's going to kind of give it a unique look. You just pull straight through there. Do that all the way around the heart. It's kind of giving it a little defined border. Alright, and then you get right back here on your white and you finish up those last few single crochet. Last one. Then you're just going to slip stitch into that beginning one. And you'll fasten off. Pull that through, and I have a tail there, so I am going to actually tie that. Okay, take my smaller hook here and weave those ends. I think I'm going to weave them a little bit in here. There we go. Now this is what you have so far. And it's okay if your hearts do a little cupping look, because you know there are going to be little ears that's going in there, and actually I like the fact that it does that because it's going to enclose the little ears. Alright, and now what you're just going to do is you're going to make your flap ties, and all you're just going to do is you can use B or you can use a combination of both yarns. It's up to you. And you'll tie your yarn to the bottom of the ear flaps and chain, you'll just chain your yarn, and they're very simple. You do these for a lot of projects. Use a little bit bigger hook. And all I usually do, it says chain anywhere from 8 to 10 inches, and you'll just simply do a basic single crochet chain. To make your tie flaps, you can, like I said, you can use one color, you can use two colors. Make it anywhere from, according to this one, says 8 to 10 inches long. And if you want to, you know, if you wanted to join it before you started chaining up to the ear flap, you can do that as well. Or you can tie it on after. But it's up to you. You know, but it's just a simple chain. You attach it before you start, or you can just work it as you go and then join it as you complete it. These are very simple. It's just nothing more than a single crochet chain. Sometimes I usually just tie mine on. Sometimes I just start it whenever. Oh, my hook is not getting the yarns. I don't think it's big enough still for 2 strands here. So you just count your chains, or you measure it, whatever you want to do. And then you just put it on. You know, you can just put it on your hat like this. You know, you can attach it in many different ways. It's totally up to you. It's whatever you wish to do. And then I'll get rid of that here later. You know, if you want to add pom-poms, you can do that. Many different things you can do with adding little hats, and my light is just being aggravating today. So these are just different little ideas you can play around with when you're making these adorable little hats. But this is your Lovey Hat for a baby is what it's called, and I'm going to do my other little strand off camera, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And again, this was the last of my baby extravaganza for the month of January, but picking up for Valentine's Day for February upcoming. Alright, and probably by the time I get this posted, it's going to be February, guys, so let's face it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and until next video, guys, happy hooking!